Hi, I'm Playboy centerfold Kathy St. George, and you're watching Comicology TV.
Hey, welcome to today's show. As you may know, here at Comicology TV, we have a great love affair with Playboy magazine. And not necessarily because of the pictures or because of the articles. I'm not going to lie to you. We love Playboy because of the cartoons. For years and years, Playboy has helped cartoonists throughout the industry to continue their career. We did a great interview with Gay and Wilson, who has been a Playboy contributor for years and years. But people like Jack Cole, Harvey Kurtzman, Will Elder, Buck Brown, the list goes on and on. Right now, Bobby London is doing his stuff there. But, and as a matter of fact, did you know this? Hugh Hefner wanted to be a cartoonist originally.
Really?
And because he really couldn't make it as a cartoonist, he developed Playboy magazine.
I didn't know that.
It's true.
Wow.
Now, we had an opportunity to sit down with one of the longtime Playboy cartoonists, Doug Sneyd, and he talked to us about his life and his career.
Cool.
Let's take a look. Doug, thank you very much for sitting down with us.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
Thank you. How did you get into illustration? What was it that made you want to do this?
Well, I first started out as an illustrator, never thinking I'd end up as a cartoonist. I took the famous artist course.
Really? The correspondence course?
Yeah, the correspondence course. I was one of 7 children, and my father, of course, didn't have the kind of money to send me to an art college.
Uh-huh.
And so I took this course, and when I came to, I think it was lesson 18 out of 24, I concluded it was called Earn While You Learn.
Okay.
And so I forgot the course and went on the road and started doing murals. The first one was for $900, which back in the late 40s was a lot of money.
Sure.
And then I bought a little Vauxhall and traveled around the country doing murals.
Really? Now, this is all around Canada?
In Ontario.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was born in Guelph, Ontario.
Uh-huh.
And then I went to Montreal and got a job working for what was called, it was Rapid Grip and Batten in those days, and it was the largest art studio in North America. It had more illustrators and layout people and so on than any place. And I worked there.
And were they an advertising?
Advertising agency, yes.
Agency, okay.
And I made $19 a week.
I hope you were still doing the murals on the side.
No, I was living in a fraternity as a lowly boarder.
Okay.
A friend of mine was there, and it was one of the greatest times of my life. I really enjoyed it. I had enough money in those days either to go to the Saturday night dance, buy the morning paper, or take the streetcar to work.
Those were your choices.
Those were my choices, yeah.
Okay.
Then I came to Toronto and I got a job in a small advertising agency for $49 a week. That was big time.
Now you could do all three.
Then I was offered a job by W.J. Gage and Company, and that was one of the large publishers in Canada, to do a series of 50 textbook illustrations.
Right.
And that was at $50 an illustration, and I was really living. And I got married and went freelance at that time.
Gotcha.
Left my job, and I've been freelance ever since. And for the first few years of my marriage, I worked mainly with textbook publishers, virtually all of them in Canada, and they were all located pretty well in the Toronto area.
And were these technical illustrations, or were they?
They were kids' textbook illustrations. You know, it's Sir John A. Macdonald, the Prime Minister of Canada, that sort of thing.
Right.
And fiction stories. They're readers.
Yeah. Okay.
And high school texts, that sort of thing. And I was also doing a lot of work for newspapers. The Toronto Star, I was in there for about 11 years with a little panel, Doug Sneyd it was called, on the World News page.
Gotcha.
And that got syndicated. And
those were editorials?
Editorial cartoons. And that was syndicated mainly across Canada and into the States. And I did a number of other features too. I started a feature called Scoops.
Uh-huh.
And that was quite successful. This was a comic strip, and it was a hard news comic strip.
Interesting, because I don't think the closest thing I think we've ever had to that in the States is like Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Well,
nobody really does hard news in a comic strip form.
Well, I guess it was kind of unique then, because some papers ran it on the World News page or the news pages, some on the comics page, some on op-ed or editorial.
Right.
And what I did to sell that, I decided to syndicate it myself, and I called it Sneyd Syndicate.
Okay.
And I traveled across Canada on my own, flying, renting a car, train, you name it, by bus, and visited 90 cities in 60 days.
Wow.
And then, well, going back to Playboy and how I got started in that.
Right.
Now
this is an example of one of your Playboy works. Around what year was this one done?
That would be
It actually doesn't have a
73,
73.
The 9th month of 73 it says.
And the caption here is, "This laptop computer you sold me keeps overheating."
Yeah.
The woman is saying to the salesman.
Yeah.
And I think we can see why.